So good evening to everybody. Welcome to today's masterclass, which is going to be about identity and access management. A quick introduction about the company for whom you're not aware of. Antwalk is a edtech platform. We just recently started since a couple of years, and we have grown pretty well. Our principle is real professionals, real insights. And a short introduction about today's class is going to be about identity and access management. The expert who is going to be taking today's class is about, his name is Bishwajit Chakraborty. I've had the privilege to interview him on a couple of occasions, and also he's also been a part of our first boot camp. So Antwalk has recently launched a boot camp around cybersecurity, and we already are a month and a half into it. And we offer various kind of specialties, from network security to web application security to threat intelligence to cloud and other things, which we'll cover into the later section. So today we're going to briefly talk about identity and access management. A brief introduction about the author. He has more than or close to 7 years of total experience in the cybersecurity space, specializing in IDAM or identity and access management. He also has been certified with Oracle, and he has done partner certification with CyberArk as well. In addition to that, he comes with additional certifications from Microsoft, and he has a plethora of experience in handling SailPoint and ForgeRock. Furthermore, he's worked with various clients and integrated environments of millions of user base. And finally, the icing on the cake is that he's received the Best Employee, Best Mentor, Spot Awards from Accenture and Infosys for leadership and performance. And he's also conducted a boot camp. So he's going to be the one who's also going to be taking our identity class around the boot camp. So I'd request you to give him a warm welcome. Vishwajit, sir, the stage is yours. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kaushik. It was a very warm welcome and thank you for all those introductions. I hope I'm still audible.
Yes, sir, you are.
Yeah, all right. So again, a very good evening to all of you who have joined this class. I'm not sure if everybody is from India, so if from any parts of other world, if they are joining here, you know, take greetings from my end. So this class is mainly about giving you a glimpse what is identity and access management, right? So it is not something you don't know. It is something which you use on daily basis, but it might be that you don't know the backend technology which you are using in your smartphone or in your laptop, or even when you are entering your office area as well, right? This is very, very important for any organization. But before we get into that, we'll have a little bit of introductory part, like how it is actually impactful in our daily life and for any big organizations, right? So if we talk about importance of identity and access management, right? So we know, right, every company, every organization, whether it has 10 user base or 10 million user base, they are now digitized, right? Every of their data, their personal information, their user base, everything is either hosted on their personal database or on cloud. So when you talk about database, these
Sir, I have
are
question.
Sorry.
Sir, I have question.
Can you also, we have a dedicated Q&A session towards the end, which you can raise a question. So meanwhile, you can put it in the chat window as well. Sorry, sir. You can go on.
No problem. Thank you. All right. So,
sir, please mute everyone. Sir, mute.
Yeah, I think Kaushik, you can mute all of the participants except me, and
Richie, please unmute yourself. I have muted everyone.
all right. Yes, I have unmuted myself. I hope.
Sir, आपके चश्मा क्यों लगाए हैं?
Yeah, I think clear now. I think I should go ahead without wasting further time. And I would also urge people to mute themselves if they're not speaking on. Thank you. So, getting back to the discussion, which I was just about to start with, identity and access management, right? The term, which, as I was mentioning, we know, and we use every day, but we might not know the
सर
backing
इसके
technology.
पैसे
So
नहीं
coming
देंगे
back
अगर
to,
आप पैसे लेने की सोच रहे हो ना मैं इसके पैसे नहीं दूंगा सर पैसे नहीं मिलेंगे आपको इसके
Sir, please mute everyone until
all guys top and bottom please.
sir, I think you should make new meeting and
All guys top
apply
and
the
bottom guys please contact me top
Vijay, it seems somebody is unmuting themselves. I'll try to find out and remove them.
Kaushik,
versatile guys also bottom I'm from
sir
yeah,
apply,
so what you can do, being an organizer, I think you can forcefully mute everybody until they unmute themselves.
You can kick this guy out. He's Vijay Rawat. He's doing
बंदरिया
all
हूँ बंदरिया मैं बंद
Kick him out of the meeting and block him. He's wasting time for everybody. Such an idiot.
Yeah, Vijay Rawat is the one, sir. I just figured it out.
All right.
Okay, so we have a cybersecurity scare.
So it's basically because the invite has been gone to widespread audience, right? And where we did not filter out, we actually invited most of the people as much as they can join, and that does become a kind of problem for us that unwanted people who have nothing to do in their life, they just came to waste their time. No worries.
True.
I think.
So just before we start, Ram and Chandu both let me be the guy to admit anybody. So for now, please don't admit others. I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
All right.
Even I hinder myself to admitting anybody. It's basically
All right, no worries, sir. Sorry for the hindrance, sir. You could go on.
no problem. I think we have already crossed about 10 minutes, but anyway, I'll resume wherever I have started with. All right. So yes, let's take this example itself. Right, whatever it just happened in last few minutes, what we have heard is basically somebody just try to pitch in into the meeting unwantedly and try to interrupt our conversation, right? So how do you think it can happen? Even you must have heard recently that happened to one of our leading actors as well. Like she tried to file some lawsuits. There was some online court session hearing was going on, and somebody just pitched in and they were like doing some abrupt stuff like this. So this is a very good example. Even let me start with this example itself. So how would you think it could have been happened? So basically, the Zoom meeting which is happening here, it is being hosted by Antwork, right? But the identity of the users who are actually logged in this meeting is not with Antwork, right? These are all with Zoom. So the people who has a Zoom account, right? They are able to access this meeting with the given link and meeting ID. Okay, we have some more intruders.
Tanya Dhawan, sir.
Tanya Dhawan.
So today's class is going to be tough.
They wantedly making this happen.
Yeah.
Maybe some group of people.
Sir, please apply the mute policy to all of them.
Yep, I think we could go on, sir.
Okay, thank you. Very strange to experience this. Like when I was conducting the boot camp, people were really serious on this. Maybe this is free, so people are taking it lightly. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah. So as I was mentioning, that how this could happen, this particular incident. So basically, when we talk about identity, what happened is the people who have joined or viewing this particular slide from me on this particular network, what's happening is you have joined through a network or through a link given by Antwork team, right? But the users who are currently presenting or viewing this particular deck, they are not Antwork people altogether. The entire identity is actually with Zoom. So basically, you have to have a Zoom ID created in order to access any Zoom meeting, right? So this is how identity management and access management comes into picture. So before I get further into it, let me just quickly give a glimpse like how widespread it is and deep rooted into our daily world. So as you know that every company, irrespective of their sizes, they are having the digitalized era. Like they want to have the business online so that they can reach out to the different parts of the world, right? So they have to, so the positive point is they can do every business on online. The negative part is they have to expose their data to the online. So now the online threat and mitigation comes into picture, right? Similarly, like suppose you want to have food delivery at your home, right? So what do? You order it on Zomato. That's a very important thing for you. But the other fact is you are actually sharing your location, the physical location, to the Zomato server or the Google Maps, right? So if somebody hacks into the Google account of yours or the Zomato server, they will get the actual physical location of yours through the satellite. So there are two parts. Always there's a two sides of a coin. So, with this digitalized era, we have positive thing about connection, networking, connecting and getting everything in the home. The other hand is we have a huge threat of hacking of our personal data, which we call PII, right? So how we do that, right? So in order to make a business proper successful, right? If your ID is getting stolen, that's something a complete harm to you. But consider if an organization ID is getting stolen, what would it cost to the organization, right? Suppose you have an account in HDFC Bank, like any millions of other users, and HDFC Bank server got hacked, and people, some of the hackers just get into the server, get all the data. So your entire and all other users, the entire privacy of your financial thing would be now widespread, right? And it can be sold for further billions of dollars. So considering all this fact, how we can mitigate it? So the terminology or the technology which is work behind this is basically a part of cybersecurity. Normally, cybersecurity people think is just about hacking and networking part, but they have different paradigms. When we have the bootcamp, I actually classified the entire thing of cybersecurity. So we have various paradigms in it. We have network security, we have physical security, we have threat intelligence, we have cryptography, right? We have data designing and data classification. And another important part is identity and access management, right? So identity stands for your digital identity, which you have created in any of the applications, right? So it's basically representing your physical thing and virtual manner, right? That's called digital identity. And access, the privileges which you have to access any of the pages or any of the application which is protected by the company or by the application. So this looks very, very simple in terms, if you understand. Now let's get a little bit deep root. Why we? So now we know why identity and access management is required. Because without that, we cannot basically, in layman words, if I put together, we cannot even access any application with our privileges, right? Now, in order to manage that, so Kaushik, you can move forward to the next slide. All right. So now as we talk about that why identity and access management is required for any organization or for any application, let's have a little bit more idea about what is identity and what is identity management. So to give you a real-time example, what you do is when you need to access Facebook, how you do is basically you create your own account in Facebook, right? With so many details, right? Whatever is required to create an account. That is your digital identity, right? Similarly, you have account in WhatsApp, you have account in Google, or which we call to access Gmail, right? You have your account in your college website, or if you are working, then you have your own salary ID and employee ID created in your own organization, right? So all these identities are your digital identity. So it's nevertheless to say that it's a one-to-many mapping where a single person on daily basis is using multiple digital identities, right? Now, why this identity needs to be managed? Because your data is your personal asset, right? And in digital area or digital world, nothing more precious than the data, right? If data is stolen, everything is gone, right? Because everything is online. A thief can come and break into your house and steal your stuff. But if it is online,
hello, Vishrik, I think there is some feeble voice. Can you come closer to my mic a bit?
How about now? Actually, I'm using a Bluetooth headphone, so and there is no noise in my room. So let me know how it's now.
Okay. I think it's fine.
It's better? Yeah? All right. Let me know if there is any further disruption. I'll pause and try to fix that. All right. Moving forward. So as I was mentioning about the identity which we use on daily basis, right? So similarly, if you have a bank account, what it does mean? Bank has created a digital identity for you. Now, furthermore, to addition to your digital identity, they have further attribute added to you. So attributes are different in terms of different applications. When you talk about physical identity, Facebook identity, you have your profile picture, your birth date, your location, last checking, all these blah blah details. When you talk about your bank identity, so they have your account number, they have your bank balance, they have your some physical document attached to your ID, let's say Aadhaar verification or blah blah stuff, right? So that's your bank identity. When you talk about Gmail identity, they have your email account, they have your age, and further related stuff. So each application has their own fundamental rights to collect data from user, and they create that identity of that user. So this entire identity or user base has to be managed very properly and has to be provisioned, right? Now talk about what is provision, what is giving access to the user. So let me give you one more very simple example. So when you must have heard about Facebook. I'm taking example on Facebook because everybody uses Facebook, right? So in Facebook, you must have been part of many groups, right? So that in the group where you are as an admin, you have multiple privileges rather than normal users, right? You can add somebody into the group, you can remove somebody from the group, you can pin some posted and so many other stuff. But being a normal user, you cannot have those much of privileges. What you can do is you can simply post something. Even sometimes your post can go through a verification or pending, for a approval or for an admin to approve the post. So why is this different? Because you and him or that admin guy both are a Facebook user, and I'm sure that guy is also not paying any extra money to Facebook to have an admin of the group, right? So it's basically the role management of that identity. So while creating the group, there are different set of roles, or which we call role-based access control, or RBAC. This is a very well-known terminology in identity management, right? So because that admin user have different roles set up, he has more privileges in that application, right? Similarly, if the same role has been given to you, that means if some admin approves you as an admin of that group as well, you will be able to perform the same access, same privilege stuff which the other admin can perform, right? So that's a very real-time example which you perform on daily basis, right? Apart from that, what we can do is that there are different life cycle of an identity, right? So it's not like just a user got created. Let's talk about take an example of your bank account, right? So suppose there is no transaction of your bank account for a year or something. There are separate rules for separate banks. They will block your account. So what is that blocking? That means they have created your account, which we call origination of the account, right? And based upon life cycle of the digital identity, they will either disable the account or block the account by certain parameter or certain consequences, right? So if those consequences or situation match, they can disable the account or manage the account. So to managing the entire account is also a very crucial thing for identity management, right? So if the account did not get managed, it will have adverse impact, right? For example, you have a bank account and you have fetched out all of the money of that bank account, right? And now bank administrator has to disable your account because you're leaving the bank, you're closing that account, right? But if there is some technical fault happen, some glitch happen at bank server or bank administrative level, and they could not remove your account, you will still be able to access those servers or those files within bank, which is a threat to bank, because now you can do wrong stuff with the bank, right? Same happens. Suppose you work for an organization, and the moment you leave the organization system should disallow your all access, right? Going forward, you won't be able to access your home page, your salary page, whatever application you use to access for your organization. If that doesn't happen, right? If the profile disability, if the digital identity is still there as per early time, so what would happen? You will still be able to access the fundamental and the confidential data of your organization, which you are not supposed to. It's a threat to company data and their data theft, right? So managing the identity is also very much important. So in the boot camp, I have covered the life cycle of the identity with various tools, like how in different phases we manage the identity, we provision different roles to any identity in order to get different access. Facebook was just an example. If you see any application throughout your world, whenever you log into your Google and go for any application, everybody has this identity management set up for that. Even in cloud as well. If you ever use cloud platform, whether it is Azure or Amazon Cloud or Microsoft Cloud, you must have seen these identity management over there, where based upon your subscription, your access will be provided to you, right? So this is how identity management works over here. Now, so Kaushik, you can move to the next slide, where I'll be giving you a glimpse about the access management. So we talk about identity, what is digital identity, and how we are surrounded with all our digital identity, right? Now we have a little bit of idea what is access management. So let's say we have an account now, right? We have an account and we are supposed to do something with the application, but who will validate that? Who will say that, okay, this particular user has this role or has this privilege in order to access this application, right? So then it comes to term authentication and authorization. That means validation. In layman word, we call it validation. So there has to be some system or some technology which will actually validate these stuff. Like, okay, fine. This user is claiming to have the access to this application. Let me validate it. So let me give you a very quick example. How is this being validated? So if you want to, log into any of your own application, whether it is Facebook application or your Google application or your Netflix application, what do you have to do? You have to first validate yourself by giving some credentials, right? What are those credentials? It might be your email ID password. It might be your phone number and password. It might be even further step of validation, let's say OTP, one-time password, right? By giving all this credential, you are, authenticating yourself through the server, saying that I am the person who I am claimed to be, right? So that server will allow you whatever you try to see, whether you are trying to see your Facebook profile or you want to watch something on Netflix, which is, subscription version. So you have to first identify yourself who you are, right? So that is the term which we call as authentication in our cybersecurity terminology, right? The second part, which after authentication comes as authorization, where you have to validate further yourself whether you have access to that content or not, right? So I was talking about Netflix, right? So let's have a very clear understanding of this Netflix itself. So you have two versions of Netflix. One is your mobile smartphone version, and one is your TV or desktop version, right? So if you subscribe to your smartphone version, even if you have subscribed the version of smartphone, you can watch the Netflix content on smartphone. But when you try to log into with the same account details in your desktop or in your TV, it will say that you are not authorized to view the content, right? So why it is happening? Because you have a valid account, you have paid for it, but still they are asking you to subscribe further because you have subscribed for smartphone version, not for the TV or broad screen version or laptop version, right? So that's the authorization part. Even though you have satisfied yourself that I am a valid user, still you do not have permission to see certain things, right? And the other part is how, in the very beginning, how you identify yourself that you are the person who has subscription, right? So basically, after you do the subscription, in the back end, they will do the identity management. They will provide you the role that this user has subscribed for, say, 365 days. So till next 365 days, whenever he tries to see these content, allow him. After that, you have to block him, right? So you should be allowed or blocked. That is identity management. Understand this part very well. So you should be allowed or blocked to Netflix. That is identity management. Based upon your subscription, your ID has been given privilege. Now, who will check whether you should allow or not in the runtime? That is access management. So there are access management tool and identity management tool who are working mostly together, and they are making sure that every end user who are trying to access any application, like Netflix, we have billions of applications in the world right now, serving us in different ways. You talk about Zomato, Flipkart, Amazon, any e-commerce site, any educational site, Udemy, any social networking site, your office website, everything has this particular fundamental basic at the back end as a very base unit of cybersecurity, that identity and access management.